All right, no tracks yet. We'll try to get Mike Petraglia on. It's the Rob Dibble Show with Ben Darnell. It's draft day. No, they're not going into the military. They're going to the NFL, but the NFL does it the right way. They build a huge set. These guys come up. Commissioner gives them a big hug, kind of welcomes them into the fraternity. It's really, you can't duplicate it. The NBA, MLB have tried. It's a poor man's version of what the NFL has become. But this is an event. This has become an event. The kids dress up. They have cool stuff on the inside of their jackets. Some of them get a bunch of bling. I don't know if it's all theirs. Sometimes it's probably on loan.
Yeah, it's on.
But the bottom line is, you've worked hard to get here. I honestly think, and I could go back on my career, it was easier for me to make it to the major leagues than stay. So I think you're getting your shot. Today's your shot. You're going to get to camp. How you handle yourself, how you prepare. Are you going to have some sort of professionalism in how you carry yourself? You know, being early to meetings, not late. Showing up for everything that you're supposed to, even if it's as minuscule as, listen, you have a sore hamstring. Are you showing up half hour early is on time in the training room? And so if you're showing up 15 minutes late for a training appointment, that's going to show the organization that you're not serious. They want serious people. They're not just giving these jobs away. And I think today is the start of a lot of these careers.
I just find it fascinating how the NFL has been able to turn this around into not only a television program, but a television event, or really just an event in the sports calendar for tonight. You know, remembering when this tonight was not a thing, where the first round was mixed in with the Friday and the weekend session. And then when they decided to make the first round its only night on Thursday and standalone programming. And by the way, you're doing it in the midst of the first rounds of the NHL and the NBA playoffs. Like, recipe for disaster for most leagues to try to pull this off.
Now, on that, we'll give MLB credit, because last week when the NBA started their playoffs, they played all early day games, which is like one of the firsts for them to be like, smart. We can't compete with the NBA. You can't. I want to watch the NBA playoffs. I don't want to watch baseball, and I'm a former player. So it's the same thing with the NFL. You can't compete with certain things. Like I've said this about going into November with baseball. You lose half your audience, maybe even more, because of Thursday night football, Monday night football. I mean, so to me, NFL is always going to be king. People love the NFL. The gambling aspect brings in millions more fans. What is it, 120 million people watch the Super Bowl. A bunch watch just for the commercials, because that's an event for passive fans. I just think that this has been done the right way for years, and to allow these young men and, you know, their women, their girlfriends or wives or whatever. Some of these guys have 2 kids coming out of college because they're 23, 24, 25 years old with the whole COVID years and stuff like that. This is a life-changing moment of, can they play on, it used to be, can you play on Sunday? Well, now can you play whenever the NFL is playing, and including, you know, on Amazon and all the other kind of stuff. So to me, I just think that it's an experience to watch these kids. Some of them are going to cry. Their parents are going to cry, because it's just a relief. That's a dream that my kid had and our family had for all these years. And think about how hard it is. Let's say if you're like a family of 4, and I have friends that have 4 kids and they all play sports. Your parents have to be so damn dedicated to drive you to all the practices. I'll just give you an example for some of the kids that I coach. Their morning lifts for football, and it's not even a great football team, 5 a.m.
Yep.
They're there at 5:30 every morning to lift. Now, the parents have to have a lot of sacrifice in their lives, a lot of absolute love for their kids to do this kind of stuff. And then if your kid could ever amount to the NFL draft day and maybe get drafted, and I don't care if whatever round you go, there's no, hey, my kid got drafted in the 3rd round. That's an amazing accomplishment. And don't even diminish it by saying that my kid was like 100th or 150. Dude, you got drafted. It's such an accomplishment. But what you do with that after that, that's totally up to you.
I just think that the NFL has kind of a leg up on all these other sports leagues when it comes to this because, I don't think it's getting better for the NFL. I kind of think it's getting worse because of the transfer portal. But just the way their league is set up, where you have to be 3 years removed from high school to even attend, to even be part of the club. Like you have to be a certain age, and I totally get it, and I'm with that rule. I think it's helped in so many different forms of fashions. But one thing it helps is it brands these guys in college while they're playing. I know a lot about Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders and have for the last 3 years, even going back to their days in Jackson State. I do think men's basketball in college is doing a disservice to the NBA because of their going everywhere all the time. But more so, they have so much international flavor. The NFL does not have to contend with that. And the kids that are good, like I still know a lot of men's basketball fans that don't know much about Cooper Flagg. I know a lot of men's basketball fans that have seen Cooper Flagg, but haven't really watched a game where Cooper Flagg played unless it was the Final Four last year. So like they're just the branding of these individuals, I think, is more so in the NFL. I think baseball is getting better. I think the more kids that get highlighted in the college game, and honestly, with the less rounds, they're picking up these college kids a lot more than they were the high school flyers. So some of these guys we know a little bit more than what we did in the past. NHL, man, I don't even think they know. Like,
right?
I mean, who the hell knows where this kid's from? He's 16. We'll see what happens in 5 years. But I think the NFL, because of plus in your sport, man, like you said, you got to wait 2-3 years for these guys to even earn their stripes to becoming major league players. In the NFL, we're trying to we love these guys so much in college, we're ready for them week one. And we know these guys in college that we're going to put them on a billboard at the side of the building week one. I just think the NFL has such an advantage in that over other sports. It's supposed to be like 800,000 in Green Bay. Right. In Green Bay.
And listen, I understand that because there's such a following per team. This is kind of Kurt's domain with NASCAR. NASCAR, you're picking out a driver, and you're picking out that driver for life. NFL, you're picking out a team. You're going to stay with that team. Like my brother has liked the Vikings since the 70s.
Yeah.
He is going to die a Minnesota Vikings fan. That's why these things are so big to them, because they don't want. And here's another thing. In any of these sports, even including baseball, when somebody doesn't pan out, it's not a big deal when they don't pan out. When somebody doesn't pan out here, it's a bust. It's almost like you paid them the millions of dollars to watch them not succeed. The NFL, the not for long label is reality because it's such a hard sport to play. And even watching the UFL, and I've watched a couple of games the last few weeks, I know these were the best of their college teams, the best of their high school teams, and they're just shy of NFL players. There's going to be one or two that get plucked out of there because we missed on that guy. But for the most part, that's where they're going to spend their time, or they're going to go and play in the Canadian Football League. And there's no shame in that either. But that's the reality of how good you have to be to play in the NFL and play on Sunday. And every guy you play against now is the best of the best. Yep. The one thing that I loved about being in the major leagues, I knew, people will ask me this question all the time. I get it all. Who's the toughest hitter you faced? Every one of them. Because every one of those guys was the best when he played in college. When he went to USC, when he went to Texas, when he went to Florida, when he came right out of high school, he was, like you said, Mr. Baseball from the state of Florida.
Yep.
Now I'm facing that guy, and I know every one of them. And I don't care if it was a pitcher. Do you know how many pitchers that were All-Americans in college baseball? Like a Bobby Thigpen and guys like that. Those guys started in college. But because they had great arms and great ability, they, when they get to pro ball, they're like, we kind of need pitching. This is our weakest part of our team. This is where we're going to funnel you. And I think, people don't understand this about the NFL. They think that, like, some of these guys that don't pan out, man, that guy wasn't worthy. No. I honestly, I had an accountant back in California. His name was Matt Anderson. You can look it up. Matt Anderson played on 2 national championship football teams at Texas. He was the center. This guy was a monster, 6'6", 300, but he was so smart that after 2 years in the NFL, and I think he went to Pittsburgh, he didn't pan out, didn't make the team, went somewhere else, might have went to the Giants or the Jets. I can't recall what he told me. This is 15 years ago. And because he had accounting, and he was a CPA, he was able to fall back on something. So think about that. I mean, this cat was the real deal, and he didn't make it. So that kind of was a reality check to me going, Jesus, if this guy doesn't make it, how good are the guys that do stick?
I think about that all the time when I go to an NFL practice and you're just seeing like a running back kind of tear up a defense for one series. And you're like, who is that guy? Oh, that's right. He was like up for Heisman at one point. And it's like, wow, well, he's on the practice team? Like, that's how good everyone is. That we're talking slivers, like your UFL guys. I just think of the receivers that I've watched a couple of games. Like, man, this guy, I don't know why he didn't stick. 4.7 versus 4.5. Like, that's it.
I've watched a couple of them drop them right in their hands.
And so, I know why. For that, you got a ticket to ride the ride and you fell off the pony. But most of these people don't even get that ticket. Like, if you're running a 4.8, that's like, you're not tall enough to ride this ride, bud. But I can catch everything. Doesn't matter. You're not tall enough to ride this ride. And, for all of these guys, I think this whole day is fascinating.
Yes.
I love the scouting.
Yep.
I love how inexact it is. I love the fanfare of people who are we're going to see so many fan bases. Jets, I'm looking at you. The Jet fan base is just going to go bonkers with whatever at 7. Or, oh, yeah, I like this guy. Like, oh, who is he? I'm going to talk you into liking him. Have you ever seen him play? No, but I'm going to say a bunch of stats that I heard this week.
And I heard on one of the networks that, yes, this guy is going to land at 7 in your mock draft. Well, what makes that guy the expert?
I just find it so fascinating. Because like he's saying, man, we're splitting hairs with these guys. We're splitting hairs. And sometimes the ball bounces funny, and that quarterback just does not look as good as what you thought.
And there's so many other intangibles. You get to an organization, and the coach doesn't coach you up.
Right.
Like the one thing I liked about Cam Newton when he came into the league, they built the offense around him and his strengths, not his weaknesses, and not saying, we're going to be more of a running offense, Cam, and you know what? It's not going to, you're not going to do a whole lot other than hand off the ball.
Right.
There's situations like that you're going to go to that team and you're not going to play for a coach that coached you like in college. And you make a great point about the transfer portal. You're even taking a risk transferring because you might go somewhere, you know what, though? Another guy that is the same type of player transferred at the same time. And he might be a younger, stronger version of you. And now in spring practice, he beats you out for the starting job. You never see the field again.
No.
So there's so many differences in that sport than a lot of other sports where, man, it's put up or shut up. And honestly, baseball was a lot easier because it took me 4 years to make it to the major leagues. I got to go to Puerto Rico twice in the winter to refine my skills. You don't get that in the NFL. You're coming right from the college rank right into and don't call it the pros, call it the highest level of any pro sport, the NFL. These guys are gladiators, and some of them are even a step above that. Those are the Hall of Famers. So for me, when I look at some of these kids, and it's funny because you call what is the last pick?
Mr. Irrelevant.
Mr. Irrelevant? Yeah, you're full of crap. That guy is very relevant, and now Brock Purdy has made that pick a good pick. You don't want to just throw a pick away. And I honestly, I have nothing but respect because I played with so many guys against Mike Piazza, who was a 62nd round pick, Hall of Famer. He was a throw-in pick, the Dodgers, because Lasorda and Mike's dad were friends. And that's how he got drafted.
Great?
But you know what? Great. He made something of himself. And honestly, I had nothing but respect for that because I always heard the detractor catching. Every year, the ERA for whatever team Mike Piazza caught for was in the top 5 and didn't get enough credit as a game caller. Oh, he's just a hitter. No, he's not just a hitter. So I kind of laughed. You're going to get a lot of that tonight where, some of these guys that fall maybe to the second or third round, they have a chip on their shoulder.
I agree.
Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer Albert Pujols, 16th round pick to the day he retired. That motivated that guy. So maybe dropping in the draft for some of these players might even be a good thing.
I haven't been on NFL.com, I think, since Monday morning. But
I'd like to get on the internet.
Oh, yeah. Rob's internet's totally not working.
Yeah, it works
on an iHeart thing today. But the top 30 best undrafted top 30, the NFL's put out an article. And just some of these names, man, are some of my faves. You're going to drool over some of these, too. Wes Welker, first and foremost, dude.
Where did he go?
Nowhere.
Undrafted?
Pro Bowls 5, All-Pro twice.
He had to be told by the doctors to stop playing. That's how big that dude's heart was. Dude, if you keep playing, you're going to die in the football field. I don't care. I'm playing.
In the 70s, Tulsa football wasn't really thought of much, but this one receiver for the Dallas Cowboys, Drew Pearson, went undrafted.
Oh, my God, Hall of Famer Cowboy.
3 All-Pro selections.
That dude was awesome.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal for him. There's a couple, there's just, I don't know if people remember Brian Waters. He was a big monster. Yep. The Cowboys signed him, I think, first, and then he became a Kansas City Chief. But that guy was undrafted, made his way. I don't know if he's a Pro Bowler or not, but, man, that dude was a tank. A lot of these offensive linemen, and I'm thinking about our guy from UConn, Chase Lund. Like, if he does not get drafted, it is okay, man. Look at some of your boys that have come out of UConn that did not get drafted but are on NFL rosters. Those offensive linemen are few and far between. They're going to be hard to find all over the place. Oh, here's a position for you should not draft tonight. Kicker. Adam Vinatieri, not drafted out of South Dakota State.
Guy's a hell of a player.
Yeah, he was pretty good, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was pretty good.
Won a lot of big games. And that's another thing, man. You know, it's hard to draft certain players to be, clutch guys, and even probably a lot of tight ends or a lot of, linemen and stuff like that excelled in the big games, that went to 1AA schools, went to small colleges.
Exactly.
Jerry Rice went to a small college.
Grambling. Right.
Yeah, one of the greatest football players ever step on the field.
Priest Holmes, running back. Tight end, Antonio Gates.
Never bet.
Your boy,
Tony Romo. Bet against the Priest on Sunday was what I was told.
Eastern, yes, never
bet against the Priest on Sunday.
One of the most efficient runners in the game.
That guy was awesome.
Eastern Illinois quarterback Tony Romo, 2004, undrafted.
Oh, Tony won 2 playoff games.
4 Pro Bowls.
Oh, Pro Bowls. It's better to have a parade than an award.
This is the bet. John Randall, Minnesota Vikings. Oh, 6 awesome. All-Pros. Dude was not drafted.
Really?
Not drafted. What did
he was an manimal.
Did he not play high school football or college football? Or did he All
right, who was the big Nigerian guy for the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yes.
He didn't play football growing up.
Kurt, you know his name, was it?
Christian Okoye.
Yes,
Christian Okoye.
Yes.
That dude was unbelievable.
No one hit harder than that guy. There's a Ronnie Lott Okoye hit that is legendary. I think rules were changed after that. Here's another kicker, also a tackle, Lou Groza, undrafted. That's right. They can play other positions too, Kurt. Don't have to just be a specialist out there.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back to the first dibs question of the day. Then we'll talk some more draft day, and then we'll talk some boxing with UConn head coach Mike Camposano. Started the program 10 years ago. You're not going to believe how good UConn boxing is. We'll have him at 4:25. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.